digital radio, on the app, on your smartphone, on X, YouTube, and Facebook. The Sports Cast. Expect the unexpected.
The update presented by the Sports Cast.
To the Sportscast, July 28th, 2025. If you haven't yet, please subscribe in all our channels, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Apple Podcasts. You can also listen to us on your smart speaker. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave a rating and a review. It will help us out tremendously. We're also on online digital radio. You could listen to us on the sportscast.net or the Sportscast app for iOS. Go search for it today. Today we have a special show. I've been looking for this day. I'm not sure if this day would have came, but it did. We got the unofficial co-founder of the Sportscast. That this whole Sportscast started at a coffee shop called Starbucks in Weston, Florida, and we were going back and forth. We were throwing around names, but the name was underneath our nose. And this guy, Brett Blair, said the cast. Just that. And then I added the Sportscast. Brett, welcome back.
Pleasure to be back, Santiago. How are you, my friend?
Good, man. You were in our first couple of shows. We were doing the Sportscast at a coffee shop with no microphone, no camera, nothing recorded. Some good conversations that no one ever heard. Just you and I and God, and maybe a Starbucks barista might have heard our conversations.
That's right. We're blessed with our intelligence.
So, what have you been up to these past couple of days or years?
Well, I'm not in Broward anymore. I'm up in Palm Beach. I do the same thing. I've still obviously love my fantasy football. I just do some moving. I work for a moving company up here, but my true heart is with being able to converse, to be able to hear other people's opinions, and obviously add our own flavor and opinion to what we think of the world, and specifically the sports world. So I'm eager to hear what you got for me, to Santiago. So please, tell me how we're breaking down today, sir.
Absolutely. And one of the themes in the Sportscast is the art of sport is art of debate. So that's a key thing. We do things objectively, if we try, even though we love our teams. Let's start off with Hulkamaniac, died 71. I know Brett was a wrestling fan. I was not as much, but I respect the Hulk Hogan. Brett, what are your thoughts over his passing this past week?
They say that always comes in threes. It was him, Malcolm Jamal Warner, and Ozzy Osbourne.
Right.
All died.
And you can say Louis Mangione, but I know that fourth guy. But anyways, it's okay.
I didn't know about Louis, but I remember. It's funny because I remember Hulk Hogan body slamming Andre the Giant. I remember Hulkamania running wild when it was a New York company, and McMahon was the announcer at the time. And then to see there was a champion at the time called Bob Backlund, who we're talking really old now, and the Iron Sheik took the belt from him, and then you had Hulk Hogan step in, Sergeant Slaughter, but especially Hulk Hogan. And obviously they did some incredible things with the NWO and all this, and I was no longer in it. But when I was a kid, man, to see somebody like Hulkamania running wild, like something that he started from nothing and created that persona. Has a beautiful daughter and had a beautiful family and did a lot of things, but he will be missed.
At a young age, Brett.
Santiago, how do you feel about it? I know you didn't catch him till later years, but
I wasn't on a Hulkamaniac. I did see him, of course, NWO. Good reminder there. I forgot about that. Great Christian guy from Tampa. He was the one that drove the force for wrestling. He made it what it be, like how Jordan did for the NBA. He did it for wrestling.
100%. You wouldn't have a John Cena. You wouldn't have the Rock. You wouldn't have any of these guys that are without that first person to we stand on their shoulders, the people behind us, and there's nobody in wrestling who would ever even say anything different. There was a few that I could think of that were around when he was around. Obviously, Dusty Rhodes, which his family's like grown and now have a whole other piece of wrestling. But Hulk Hogan is an icon. It's a cultural icon who helped people do things that they would have never done before because of sports entertainment or men's soap operas, whatever you wanted to call them, like
It
that.
was a
That's
men's soap opera for
it.
sure.
That's it. It's a close the door. Let's see what the newest soap opera is. And it's funny how that their fan base, it changes so much because you have people. I'll be 55 this year, and I haven't watched or really paid attention for a lot of years, 30, 40 years, but
A
they
lot has
still
changed. Yeah.
they still have multiple days that they're on TV. So
Yeah.
that they're what do they have, like a license to print money? Right? Like
That's the
that's
print
important.
money, and of course,
Yeah,
very influential, probably influential to UFC today. So a lot going on since the Hulk Hogan, but RAP to his family.
for sure.
And maybe this will be a balance for wrestling. Maybe some new things will happen, some innovative stuff. I know that Logan Paul is in it, so we'll see what could happen in the sport. Very popular. It's on Netflix. It's on every channel pretty much. USA, NBC,
Oh yeah.
CW probably. So
It's
um,
tough
let's
not to
go.
fall. It's tough not to fall in love, like especially when he was the good
Yeah,
guy. When he was, later he had to become the heel, like we're talking the NWO. He had to mix it up to keep that career going. But in the early days, man, with him giving the, and then you're like doing and then the ear thing, you know what I'm saying? Like, and going to, come on, man, it was impossible if you were watching wrestling, actually just even watching it as even a partial fan, to
yeah,
not fall in love with Hulkamania, with Hulk Hogan, with the whole, running wild. So like you put it eloquently, rest in peace, and like you said, let's see the stepping stones that he lays for the future of the sport.
exactly. Our next story, big news. No one knew about this. Deion Sanders, cancer free after undergoing bladder surgery. And I had no idea. He announced it today in his press conference. He'll be coming back healthy for the college football season. But your thoughts on Deion Sanders? Play for the Cowboys. By the way, Brett is a Cowboys. Can you disclose that? I mean, there's nothing secret about that, right?
Right. Correct. I despise every other team in the NFL except the Dallas Cowboys. Correct. That's literally. But prime is prime. We spoke about it briefly off camera, and I always have much love. Again, another guy it's hard to not root for and buy into, especially when he was a Dallas Cowboy, especially when he's probably the greatest. I don't think, there's always conversation we have. There's nobody in the NFL, past, present, or future, that Deion Sanders could not cover. I don't care if you want to talk race. I don't care but it shows, I'll segue that into it, just shows the type of character where he doesn't say anything. Shador's already got a lot of problems. Shador's already dropped in the draft. Shador doesn't need to hear about his father who has, cancer, the big C. They dropped that, numerous times today. But Deion handled it as Deion handles everything, head on, chin up, busting through. And does it surprise you? Honestly, Santiago, does it surprise you, out of all people, that somebody who beats cancer and beats it readily would be Deion Sanders?
It'll be Deion Sanders. He did it quietly, but he did it strong, took it by the horns, took care of business.
Yep.
I don't know how long he's been suffering from this situation, but it is a big, huge encouragement, I think, for him and possibly the Colorado Buffaloes. Now that um, now they're going through a season post Shador and also post Travis, so it's gonna be quite something. But he like when do you think he was his best? Like when was his golden years? Was it with like Atlanta? Was it with San Francisco? Was it with the Cowboys? When was his best years? To be
Uh,
honest,
all right. So in 93, I'm at the University of Central Florida, and it's something we're going to talk about because now you're talking about Colorado Buffaloes in the Big 12 with the University of Central Florida Knights. So that's something we'll
no
circle,
coincidence or
we'll
conspiracy.
circle back and speak about that in the future. But Dallas is playing the Atlanta Falcons in '93. Deion is still an Atlanta Falcon. We drive up from Orlando. My college roommates are all from Connecticut. They despise the Cowboys. They despise, it's so they're all hammered. Deion picks one and goes 70 yards. Emmett didn't play because Emmett was hurt. Bernie Kosar actually started a quarterback, believe it or not, for the Dallas Cowboys as opposed to Aikman, and they blew us out. Deion at that time was magic. He didn't get to show it completely until he elevated to a team like Cowboys or the Niners. So I mean, I think he was that same player for those 7 years, because you could see him when he was allowed to return punts for Atlanta. He was returning touchdowns. Like anything he does with flair. He does with panache. He just does better than anybody else. But 94 through 99, you know what I'm saying? He's probably the lockdown of the, not even a lockdown corner, locks down that side of the field. Like if he's on the left, you're going right almost the whole day. Like, and that's when you can do that, when you can dictate things like that. There's not too many others. Woodson, the Pittsburgh Steelers Woodson, not Charles Woodson.
Not for the Raiders, Charles Woodson.
Another lockdown corner where that's so high, that whole side of the field. But I'll still state it. Deion is in his prime. There's nobody who could run any route on the route tree, do anything they want to do. His catch-up speed he's a magical dude. He's a magical dude.
TB.
Yeah, he is by far the GOAT. By far the GOAT. I mean, he hasn't proven it in college football yet, thankfully, because once he does that, now he's going to dominate just another sport. And now I do have a skin in the game with with my college alma mater. But you're talking
How
about
is UCF doing in college football lately?
Last year we weren't ready to play in the Big 12, and again playing conferences like Conference USA, like building our way up, to where we actually are in a Power 5 conference now. We lost 4 games last year in the last 4 to 5 minutes of the game, all because of clock management, all because our players hadn't played at a level where you need to finish the game. You can't not finish the game, and it was so apparent. Like in these few games, we lost Gus Malzahn. I don't mind. I really wasn't a big Gus Malzahn fan. We got Frost back, who we'll see. Remember, Frost is the one who brought us from 0-11 to 11-0 with our quote unquote national championship year that we beat Auburn and Auburn beat Alabama. So, we're happy to get Frost back. I do not know what the team will look like. I hear bits and pieces. I try to read up on it, but they're not getting the fanfare. They're still not getting, the top 100 signees. But then again, we're playing against colleges that have unlimited budgets for some of that stuff.
NIL.
Not easy, but
there you have it. Well, we'll talk about NIL a little bit later, a couple weeks from now.
Sure.
Let's go some Cowboy news. They inked Jake Ferguson to a 4-year, $50 million extension. What are your thoughts over this extension for Jake Ferguson?
I mean, look, now I'm gonna be completely unbiased. He's a good tight end, great, solid, runs his routes, can block. He really does. He's a good. But for me, it doesn't matter unless the pieces of the puzzle come together. As excited as I am for them to ink Ferguson, you gotta have cohesion in the team. You gotta sign a Micah. You know what I'm saying? Micah's he's the 40th highest paid defensive end in the NFL. That's a joke. Obviously, that's not what it's going to be. But Jerry Jones thinks, okay, I signed Ferguson, I'm offsetting this money. But by the time he signs, 3 other defensive ends have set the market even higher. And in the end, they could have saved themselves money. He does it consistently. As much as I love the team, I'll die with him, ride or die with him. He holds out on trying to pay people the money, and it bites him in the ass. They, 1 year that with Dak missing part of the preseason, and it messes with the cohesion of the team. With Pickens on that team now, I know I'm being biased. If we can stop the run this year, we have a great chance to.
You've been saying that for a while. You're saying the defense is key here for the Cowboys.
Our defense is good. I mean, look, our head coach should be Quinn. Should be Dan Quinn. He should be coaching Washington. He should be coaching us. Came in and changed the culture of that defense, and we stuck with a coach that allowed the most offensive penalties and foolish penalties in the league. When you're the highest or number 1 or number 2 in the league for penalties, 3 or 4 years in a row, you're not doing something right. You're not leading. So, but I'm getting you off topic because it's the Cowboys.
No. This is good. And by the way, Deion Sanders was rumored to be a Cowboy coach a couple of years ago, but that didn't work out either.
I kind of thought it was going to happen. To be honest with you, I maybe it was pie in the sky. Somebody brought me down to earth and said the guy's never even coached college yet. You're not going to bring him in to coach the NFL. Right out of, I guess he had coached at Jackson State or whatever, but never a major college. But I was rooting for it. I really was. When like 2 years ago, when they really should have done its coaching change. Right before Deion went to Colorado, there was that big hoopla, and I bought in. I gotta be honest with you. I was excited. Why? Because he's got a culture of winning. whether it's
What about
Sinclair.
Brian Schottenheimer? Do you think?
I love him.
Like, what do you think he'll bring? Or
Okay, young coach. A lot of people that say the deck is kind of stacked against him. He's doing things a whole different way, and I dig it. He's got these programs. He's bringing in all of these former players, and they have them sit in on meetings. So you're talking about Tony Dorsett. You're talking about Randy White. You're talking about Too Tall Jones. You're talking about these guys coming in and mixing with seeing what a culture of Lombardi winners look like, and keeping that. And Steve, and this is the premier organization in the world. Okay, I don't care. I love Stephen A. Smith. Like he's just always beating on him. I despise Stephen A. Smith. But I love how he's always beating on him. But listen, they're the most valuable franchise in the world. They should be doing things a little bit different.
number one sports club in the world.
Value wise, what, $7 billion right now? Is that what the word? $7 billion?
Yeah, more than the Yankees, more than Manchester United, Real Madrid,
More than Real Madrid.
Lakers.
Yeah, these are franchises that. But number one, but then again, he owns both of those facilities. He owns AT&T Stadium, and he owns the Star, like another $1 billion facility that they play college or high school games and some other stuff at. So, but
he owns Frisco's. Jerry Jones.
What's that?
Jerry Jones owns Frisco. It's like a steak company.
Does he own Frisco?
No, sorry, Del Frisco. It's a restaurant.
I don't even know about it, man. Where you are? Are we ordering? What are we getting?
No, not yet. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, the Cowboys' new coach, Dak, is healthy. How important is his health coming into the season?
Well, I mean, if you look, what's funny is if you look at his past 6 seasons, like he's got a pattern where he was getting hurt. He comes back, he has a monster season. He gets hurt, he has a monster season. So 2 years ago, he came back and had the best season of his career. Got hurt again last year. Is healthy, has all the pieces. Like, I'm excited, to be honest with you, to see what this running game will do. Javonte Smith, you got Shady McCoy in there. You got a couple of things to be able to run. They got the rookie Blue, that they took in the draft this year. But I know I'm getting way off topic, but running the ball, okay. Run on what the Cowboys need to do this year. Dak will have, and I shouldn't tell you this because you're one of my opponents in our fantasy league. Dak is not even getting picked up, and I'm in my drafts. I'm taking him as like a number 2 quarterback in 14 rounds, and he'll throw for 40 touchdowns this year. He'll throw for 4,000 yards this year. He will. He's got everything he needs. Every piece of the pie in there. Actually, obviously losing, a premier offensive lineman I did not know. Thank you for ruining my evening and telling me about Tyler's torn ACL. Gone for the year? Is that what it is? Is it? Well, how bad was it there?
Okay, yeah. So the Cowboys fear left tackle Tyler Goyton has torn his ACL, which is tremendous. I mean, how important is this team if you guys lose him for a year? Probably he's done for the year.
Oh yeah, he's done. And I'm going to be honest with you. You just killed. We had a solid 5. Our offensive line was the most solid thing we had, to be honest with you, on that team, with 3 number 1 picks right there, right in a row. It's Terrence Steele on right tackle, who's So I don't know what they're doing. They might move Steele not a left tackle to protect Dak's blind side, and then we have a couple of guys that we obviously got rid of McGovern and some of these other guys, but I got to look at the offensive line. I got to take a look now and see how they're going to fill it. But I wouldn't be surprised to see that move. Steele over.
I got some news that no, he didn't tear his ACL. It's still intact, so there's no surgery needed. It's just bone fracture.
Bone fracture. Oh,
so he'll be out for 4 to 6 weeks. So
okay,
guys
all right.
Has some relief there.
I thought he was going to miss preseason. I just went from really low to really high. Please keep telling me. It's getting better.
More good news. I mean,
the next thing you'll be telling me he's ready to play tomorrow. Like, that'll be the next part of the conversation. Oh, he's ready to go.
Quite something. You just mentioned Mr. Micah Parsons contract saga. TJ Watt got an extension last week, probably the highest for a defensive back. Now it's Parsons. He might get paid more than TJ Watt. Your thoughts over his contract? And of course, Jerry Jones was talking a little bit last week, saying that he got injured. He was injured. I mean, he was out for 4 games. He says 6 games, but which was actually 4 games. But your thoughts over this contract? Is he worth to be paid?
Yeah, you know how I feel about that. Like, pay the man. Like, he's proven to be not only. I mean, look, he missed a few games last year. The dude is super consistent. The dude is a premier defensive end, and like we said, he's paid. He's the number 40 right now. That's crazy. I believe, I'm gonna be honest, it's not my money, it's not my team, it's not my ability to because they gotta short some people some other contracts. They gotta do so much to be able to now extend that much when you're trying to stay under the salary cap. It's a whole different economic geo point that you have just to figure out, from 1 year money that applies from last year and next year. And then I think you got to pay the guy, like come to him early and come to him and say, look, we want you break something down, but show him, because he's somebody that can also set the tone going into this year. We need help on that defense, man. We need help, as much as possible on the defensive line. And I believe he's worth the money. He deserves to be top 3, maybe, Miles Garrett and TJ.
Miles Garrett, yeah.
Well,
And TJ Watt. Resetting the market. I think Parsons can. Would you say Parsons kind of reminds you of Lawrence Taylor?
A little bit. A little bit. You know what? What's funny is he I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, on the cast, but he looks like LT if LT wasn't on coke.
Oh, yeah, you can say that. That's fine.
You know what I'm saying?
Steroids.
Like LT, but he's calm still. He doesn't want to rip people's throats out, and standing over and stand on people, and like it's gonna be like saying, "Oh, we're gonna be here all day." That's how he plays. He plays much more in control, but most definitely coming off the edge, premier playmaker. You have to account for him. And again, there's not too many people on any NFL defense that you have to account for. And primetime was another one. You had to account for him. Where is he? What are we trying to do with this? And Micah Parsons is the exact same thing. Level 1 and level 2, the line. Even he can play middle linebacker. The guy is that talented. Pay him early. Don't let this drag out. But again, I don't understand the nuances of all of the.
Well, you know how Jerry Jones does it. He waits till like the last minute because
Every
he did it
time.
with Dak last year.
Every time he does it with everybody. He somehow thinks that by holding out that the player will see the light, and it's not. It's not the way it works. And then
Jones talks to the players, not the agents, to like when he negotiates with the contracts.
That's smart. Anything you could do to try to get an agent out of there. I believe by the collective bargaining agreement, I believe that like all of them have the right to have, if they really wanted to say, no, I want my, this we have the NFLPA, which I don't know, is a whole other thing falling apart from what I'm hearing.
With the whole situation with the scandal and the guy going to strip clubs or something.
Yeah, but they're supposed to the way that he handles things is he thinks because of what I said, the pride you have in the team, the love you have for the Cowboys, that somehow you're going to take less money or somehow I'm going to see the light of day differently because this is the Cowboys. No, I'll take my wares. I'll pack up my suitcase of my work wares and I'll take it to another franchise that will pay me and we'll do that. I mean, I want the dude, in a way, somebody was talking to me the other day about a massive trade dropping Parsons, and I hate that because I believe again a generational type player. But when you're talking about now, everybody needs to get paid. We have other people that are now going to start coming through. CD got paid finally. Like there's these contracts are going to keep rolling back around. And I don't really see it, getting better. I'd love for them to. I don't know if they're going to make him number 1. They should have signed him before TJ. They could have set the market and actually saved money. Because now he's going to want to be paid more than TJ Watt. They could have came in right over, Miles Garrett, who was the number 1 at the time, if I believe correctly.
Miles Garrett was first to reset the market.
Yeah, and then gone right above Miles where TJ Watt went. And now Mike is going to have to supplant TJ Watt, and they deserve it. That's the pecking order. That's the order of what you did for the season, and that's you get paid on you play great. So it's a youth game. You play great, and you're young. You'll get paid, and I just hope it is sooner rather than later. To go along with what you say, I really do hope it is a sooner rather than later thing.
What do you think about George Pickens at the Cowboys?
Love it, absolutely love it.
Thumbs up.
I'm watching some training camp with that. They are connecting a little bit. To have somebody now because he's a 50-50 guy, he can throw the long ball. it just allows CeeDee Lamb to do so many other different
True.
things when you have somebody who's a beast and could be a number one on a team, could will run every route we talk about on that route tree, but can take the top off of a defense. Man, think about now them taking that safety that has to follow with the corner or with the slot guy and take them deep. And now you've taken the safety right out of that part of the field. It just allows our other playmakers, allows even again Tyler Guyton's huge, but it allows the running game. It allows, so you can't stack the box. You want to try to stack the box against it, it's gonna be a long day. He'll throw all over you. You want to be able to play, a nickel or a dime, some variance of a nickel or dime defense, almost every play. Then we got to be able to run the ball. We got to, and I haven't seen him much, but Javonte Williams is a beast. That rookie year, he came out, he was knocking heads with everybody, got hurt. I'm hoping this is a guy again. We take on potential, like it seems with the Cowboys, because they got Elam from Buffalo, who was a second round pick who should have been first round, showed nothing over there. So they're big on bringing talent that failed as a first round or second round pick at some of their places and bringing them in and filling in. And George Pickens is like, another good example of what they did. They brought in and they gave up nothing, nothing for the guy just to get him off their
Yeah.
books.
He says he
Pittsburgh.
likes being in Dallas so far, so we'll see if that translates into the field. Let's go a little bit up north to Denver Broncos. They extended Cortland Sutton, wide receiver, 4-year Brett, $92 million extension. Is the juice worth the squeeze here?
These are my terms. I love it. The juice is definitely worth the squeeze, my friend. On this one, him and Bo Nix are putting together, and you and I again are in a fantasy league together, so it's tough to give away all your little morsels.
Bo Nix is the first rounder.
Yeah, Bo. Well, yeah. But Cortland Sutton will be 110 catches, will be 14 to 1,500 yards, he's that type of player. And because now he's got the rest of the team, they got Harvey now in their backfield. That's who they decided to bring in. And him and Bo have started forming something that's going to work. The numbers are big. You're right. But he can, and I believe will, step in as a solid number one, this year for them, and really change things up a little bit for them. Him and Bo Nix, good connection.
How do you see in that division? Of course, you got the Chiefs, Chargers, and the Raiders. Where do they finish? Third, second, first?
Right, maybe first. That defense, man, is really what you want to talk about. Like their cornerback
defense.
Yeah, they're come on, Surtain and like the stuff they got that defensive backfield. That's the strength of their team. So that's why if now you can bring in Cortland Sutton and have somebody with Bo Nix and have this offense that now can start taking some pressure off the defense and allow this defense to start being playmakers, which they have. Playmakers, set them up, put them in positions, where they can get the pick sixes, where they have the talent to do that. It's funny you say that. I mean, who knows with Kansas City? They like fell apart at the end, but they
kind of, I saw them a little bit like they lost a step.
The chip in their armor. I think we saw, you know what I'm saying, for the first time. Like that
Kelsey lost a step or two, but they did make it to the Super Bowl though.
They did, but they got beat up in the Super Bowl. Nobody wants to go to the Super Bowl and get beat up. Okay, yeah. They beat up Philly like Philly got beat up the year before by San Fran. Like, you know what I'm saying? They got, you know what I'm saying? You got to get beat up the year before to come back. But I wish Philly would just lose. I mean, they lost some coordinators. Obviously I need Philly to do poorly.
No pun intended. No pun intended.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with the Broncos. You are a fan of Sean Payton, right?
Yeah.
Tough guy, but we'll see what happens.
You like him? He's got his own specific coaching style. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't
like the old school type of coaching.
Yes, I agree. He harkens back to kind of the tough, older dudes, but he's a brilliant mind. You know what I'm saying? I guess, look what he did with the Saints. Pulled Super Bowl out of nothing.
Breeze.
Yeah, Breeze. I mean, who still never gets the credit for like the amount of 5,000-yard seasons he had, and the amount he still never gets any credit. Never even thought of top 5. He'll barely make a top 10 for like best quarterbacks of all time.
The Saints are
Yeah,
known for like the catch interference.
that was horrible.
That's still talked about till today.
They should. They should do those. That was like the call was that bad that it was almost like there's a movie with Mr. Bean in it where Cuba Gooding Jr. plays an NFL ref who called the flip wrong or something. He's the worst call of all times. That's where they should go. Like that's where they should go. I mean, it was just a clinic of why you should never be an NFL referee or umpire, back judge, whatever position made the call. I guess the back judge would be calling the PI, but or lack of PI. So yeah, horrible
Bad
call.
calls, man. We could talk about bad calls for like the whole Patriots tuck rule.
Stop.
The inflatable balls.
Oh my god! Yeah, Flake gate. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so yeah,
catch no catch. Wait, what's it called? Catch no catch. That
one. God, yes, that's Dez. That's Dez was Green Bay.
Yes, against the Packers.
That is when my entire thought process. You and I have sat through many games. You know, I can literally call a game as well, if not better than the guys calling the game. I'll call the player. I'll call and that changed my whole perspective of what is a catch and what isn't a catch. Like there was a clean cut set of rules. Catching your hands under the ball, you made it. You completed with that.
Clear and obvious.
Yeah, then it was like the tuck rule. It was like these parts of these things in the NFL that are so
which makes NFL so great. The parody.
Yeah,
like you talked about 10 years ago. That's why the NFL has a lot of parody.
Oh my God, that's not parody is the other team being able to have a chance because you cheated. You know what I'm saying? Against them. That is, if you want to call
that. Belichick always gets away with it.
He does, man. He's the man. You know what? I know. I'm not a Belichick lover, but you got to give credit where credit is due to guys. Freaking the guy.
How long did he coach for the Browns for?
One day. Did we talk about that? No, but that's different. I apologize. There's two different. No, how long was he the head coach?
How long was he head coach?
1 day, I believe. He signed for 1 day and then ended up leaving and going to New England the next day. The very next day. He had been
history.
Yeah, he had been the defensive coordinator for that Cleveland team, like a really good Cleveland defense, like for many, many years. And then I guess he was about to sign as the head coach. Something happened and he signed. And then literally the next day he said, "No, I'm reneging the signature and I'm signing with the Patriots." Another
biggest decision of his life.
Yeah, and the rest is history. Like, right? You end up taking a kid in the 6th round that out of Michigan. You know, I'm a big Michigan fan, but and like you love to say, the rest is history. The rest is
and like the words of Bill Parcells, you are where your record says you are.
That's it. I like what's his name more Kansas City coach Hank Stram, who would be like, you got to matriculate the ball down the field. Like that's what he's like. How do we win the games? We matriculate the ball down the field. That's it. Move forward, man. It's a game of
Brett, time is up. The night is still young, but what is the best way to reach you? I know you're not a social media guy. I know you're more of an email, but I'm not sure if you give it out. But what's the best way for people to reach you? Smoke signals or?
Yeah, definitely. Like if you know the smoke signals for the Southeast, we're in Florida, so again we do things differently. But no, you know what? You can go ahead and I do have Facebook. I just don't like to get on it for some reason. I have all these people that I don't know, but want to be my friends, and I'm not that nice a guy. So I don't.
There's a lot of Blair fans out there. And I know you have to deny them a lot and turn them down, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yes, sir. No, but you, I would hope to be on anytime you want me. You know how much I feel.
You got to come back for a preview show.
I'm done.
Who's going to win the AFC East, the West, the North, all of it?
I'll be there with bells on, sir. I'll be there with bells on.
We're going detail, Pacifics. We're going down to the kicker.
Beautiful. Let's see how far down the rabbit hole we can go, my friend. So,
well, there you have it. You can reach us at thesportscast.net, and you could also go on X and Instagram. You can follow us at thesportscast1. We live tweet. We break the stories. Micah Parsons, I think we'll see that contract in August. I don't think this month.
Yeah, no.
It'll be in August.
Next month. But I love you, brother, man. Just you reach out to me. You let me know when you want to have me on, and I'll be there for you. All right.
Yeah, Brett Blair, the unofficial co-founder of the Sportscast. Thanks for coming on. And this was your freaking update.